they're going to try to confuse the record. You know, one of the areas they've been trying to confuse the record over the last 2 days is trying to blur what happened in the debate on Tuesday concerning immigration. And you know, Tuesday was very interesting because Tuesday, for the first time in 5 debates, Senator Rubio publicly admitted not only did he support Obama and Schumer's amnesty, but he still supports amnesty and citizenship today. He had avoided doing that in the first 4 debates. He explicitly admitted it in this last debate. In addition to that, we also had an important conversation about the damage to national security that the Rubio-Schumer amnesty bill would have done, in particular by giving President Obama blanket authority to admit tens of thousands of Syrian refugees without mandating any meaningful background checks. As a result of those exchanges, the Washington establishment went into full panic mode. And the strategy that they have tried to follow, pushed on every media outlet they can, is to spread lies and misinformation. So let's have a moment of simple clarity. I oppose amnesty. I oppose citizenship. I oppose legalization for illegal aliens. I always have, and I always will. And I challenge every other Republican candidate to say the same thing. Or if not, then to stop making silly assertions that their records and my records on immigration are the same. It is demonstrably false. And the reason we're seeing conservatives uniting behind our campaign is far too many Americans are fed up with slick politicians who go whichever way the winds blow. And they're looking for leaders who are the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. In 2013, I was proud to stand with Jeff Sessions and Steve King and the American people and lead the fight to secure the borders, to keep this nation safe, and to kill the Rubio-Schumer Gang of 8 amnesty plan. And today, my position is exactly the same. I'm proud to stand with the American people to secure the borders, to keep this nation safe, and to prevent amnesty. And that's what I will do as president. Border security is national security. If you're not prepared to keep this nation safe at the borders, if you're not prepared to keep this nation safe at Kennedy Airport or the Rio Grande, then you cannot keep the American people safe.
I want to follow up on immigration. I want you to clarify something. You said that for a poison pill, that was the intention. But I want to read you something that you said in that same year, May 28, 13th. It was not to kill immigration reform, but it was to amend the Gang of 8 bill so that it actually solves the problem rather than making the problem worse. How does that square with your explanation now?
You know, it's interesting. We're in Las Vegas right now. So let me use a Vegas analogy from poker. It's called calling their bluff. Listen, the Democrats and the establishment Republicans who supported the Gang of 8, they claimed they were all about, they cared for the people who were here illegally. And so that amendment, I introduced an amendment that made anyone here illegally permanently ineligible for citizenship. That amendment called their bluff because it revealed that the proponents of the Gang of 8 were being hypocrites, that they were not telling the truth, that what they claimed they were interested in was not in fact what they were interested in. What they were interested in, what Chuck Schumer and Barack Obama wanted, was very simple. They wanted millions of new Democratic voters. There's a reason why I think the new politically correct term is no longer illegal aliens. It's now undocumented Democrats. That's what was going on. It was a pure partisan political game. And by introducing an amendment to strip citizenship, it laid naked the partisanship, the hypocrisy, and the lies behind the proponents of the Rubio-Schumer amnesty plan. There is a reason why every other strong opponent of amnesty supported me in that amendment. Jeff Sessions and I were side by side. It's one of the more ludicrous aspects where the Rubio campaign is trying to claim, well, Cruz and Sessions opposed citizenship in the Gang of 8 bill. So therefore, they must have supported every other aspect of the Gang of 8 bill. That is utter nonsense. And by exposing the hypocrisy, by calling their bluff, we won. We defeated amnesty. We beat it. All of Washington was saying this cannot be stopped. that they had the votes to ram it through the Senate, and that Republican leadership in the House was going to take it up and pass it. This was a done deal. And by revealing the truth, calling their bluff, we were able to mobilize and energize the American people and defeat it. And by the way, what we've seen in the last 2 days, this is the establishment strikes back. We won that fight. We defeated amnesty, and they are furious. They're furious. They all sided. 2013 was a moment, as Reagan put it, a time of choosing, where everyone could decide, where do you stand? Now, Marco Rubio is a friend of mine. He's a wonderful communicator. He's a charming individual. He's very well liked in Washington. Marco Rubio campaigned telling the people of Florida, if you elect me, I will lead the fight against amnesty. In Texas, I campaigned telling the people of Texas, if you elect me, I will lead the fight against amnesty. We said the exact same thing to the voters. But come 2013, we made very, very different decisions. Actions speak louder than words. In 2013, Senator Rubio made the decision to stand shoulder to shoulder with Chuck Schumer and Harry Reid and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. And not only not to do what he promised the voters of Florida, not to lead the fight against amnesty, but to author a massive amnesty bill that would have undermined our national security, would have taken away jobs, would have driven down wages, would have undermined the rule of law, and would have increased illegal immigration. I made a very different decision in 2013. I chose to stand side by side with Jeff Sessions and Steve King and the American people and lead the fight to defeat the Rubio-Schumer amnesty bill in the Judiciary Committee and on the floor of the Senate. Now, at the time, the Rubio campaign was convinced they had made a masterful decision. This was a move to co-opt all the big money Republican donors who support amnesty, because for big business, amnesty means cheap labor. Now times have changed. 2 years later, they regret having led the fight for amnesty. And so they're trying to blur the record by claiming those who opposed amnesty somehow agreed with them. It is complete and utter nonsense.